Hi guys, it's Sunrise. Hi guys, so it was live when I'm here to give you guys a movie review, which is basically called the Disney movie called Ratatouille. And I have to say, this movie is extra special. It's beautiful. It's a gem classic. It's a cult classic. It's the greatest classic. It's one of the best classical movies I definitely think I've ever seen based from Pixar really have done. And Brad Bird really has written all the notes basically for this movie. And to be honest with the ending of the movie just got me emotional. I'm still getting emotional right now, and it just really actually is. Forget about for the ratings based on this movie. It's perfect. It's a 100 out of 10, 1 million out of 10, 1 trillion out of 10, 1 billion out of 10, 1 zillion out of 10. It's a perfect movie. It really actually is. I really love this movie. I really definitely do. But is it really personally one of my top favorite spaces for Disney? Not necessarily. I don't think it's not really more personally one of my ultimate top favorites for the movie, but I have to list it in my probably my top three. I have to definitely list it, and I have to say this is by far one of the best movies I really have ever seen for Pixar in such a long time. And some people may think that Toy Story was basically the beginning of the booming era for Pixar, basically in a way, and then Ken's Bugs Life and Toy Story 2, and then some of the other artists of other films, and like Wally, basically in a way, and basically also as well too. And I'm not gonna lie, I still love Cool Runnings. It's still my number one pick. I love the movie. It's inspirational. It's definitely very good. But I have to put Ratatouille rank number three for me, and I put the Wally number two for me because reason why I put these three movies down apart because they're good. They're ingenious. They really show a very good vibe of an atmosphere of something that is very broad, not too very vague or anything like that. Something to explore, something to explore by making the next chapter, the dare go into the territory space of the next Lion King basic aspect based off the movie. I definitely think Ratatouille is basically is the next chapter of Lion King, basically in a way. It really actually is. Now don't want to go into really much speculation into basically of a second movie, but I want to get into that really basically here just for a few minutes, and I really want to explain something basically this. Brad Bird, he has every right to basically say that if he does not want to make a second movie, he does not want to make a second movie. To be honest with you, I 100 respect his opinion based on that because he has every right to feel how he wants to make the movie because in a way I think Disney needs to honor that also as well too, and I don't think that Disney should not have to pressure him basically into basically making a second movie. But to be honest with you, I really would love to see a second movie. I'm always kind of curious about what kind of takes place after the ending base of the movie because curiosity is kind of like something that we always wonder, something like that. You know how like a cat gets so curious about some things and say like, "What is this? What is that?" And they're not really actually sure, or probably definitely say, "Curiosity kills the cat." You probably definitely say, but I would definitely say this basically in a way, and I want people to really basically understand us also as well too. That I will say again that Ratatouille is the next chapter of Lion King. I know some people are probably gonna disagree with me basically with this, but it is basically the next beginning of a new of an era kind of left off. It really actually is because it really definitely does. And I will say this also well too. I do respect Brad Bird opinion about not making a second Ratatouille movie. I'm okay with that. I'm perfectly fine with that. I can live with that because live with the greatness of the first film, basically in a way, is definitely is not just basic understatement, but just basic a statement to really to make it say like, no, I don't want to do this. But can he rule in favor of a second movie? He may rule in favor based on the second movie, but I think his opinion basically stands when it comes to The Incredibles and some of the other Pixar movies or other Disney cult classic films that basically kind of shine a light basically for sequels based in a way. It might be a good thing for him to really not to make a second movie, but I think that personally, I think it's just the money not really basically is talking for him, basically in a way, but I can understand the passion that he has basically for this film, and that's something I really definitely do highly respect his opinion basically when it comes to this movie, and I think a lot of people will definitely would respect me basically for what basically when it comes to what I said right here. I definitely do think good for Brad Bird, basically in a way. I think he should stick to his guns, and I think that he should not feel pressure by Disney for whatsoever at all to really make a second movie. Because if he does feel pressure to make a second movie, I will just personally just say like, I'm just gonna separate myself away from Disney, and I'm just gonna focus on some things I feel more potent that I really definitely do love based in a way. But I'm not saying he should just basically just like, yeah, I hate Disney because what they're doing to me or anything like that, but not per se basically in a way. Now let's get into the review based of this movie since I already talked about the Ratatouille speculations based off the second movie. So what is this movie basis all about? Well, this movie's basis is all about a rat. His name is Rime. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Rime is basically he's a not a lonely kind of rat, or basically in a way he kind of sees things as such more a different open veracity of other different things that he definitely just sees the basic way. But even though he doesn't really basically really understand the open world basically, the open world, what happens, the end of the stick, basically the way for other different rats, basically in a way. Rats is, I guess, rats are pretty much basically a heavy infestation, basically in France. I guess probably in Paris. I'm not really 100% sure because I never live in France. I never have. I've never seen France. I've never been to France. I would love to go to France. I would love to see Paris. I would love to see the great cuisine meals and stuff like that. That's something would love to see. I've always dreamed going to France. I've always dreamed basically going there. It's one of my biggest dreams I've ever really wanted. Even though Japan is basically one of my ultimate dreams, but France is my next level, basically. Anyway, that's if I could save up a lot of money because it's very expensive to go from Crestview to, actually I want to say Fort Walton to basically to Paris. Basically, way it's very expensive. It's not cheap. It's not cheap at all. I know it's not. It's really not cheap. But I would definitely say, the story is very unique. It really actually is. Basically, as I said before, basically a remake. It's basically as a way, basically as for himself. He sees things personally, basically in much more of a different side, basically of a view. I think some other rats may not really see his point of view and stuff like that. Even though he has disagreements basically with his father, based on as well too, because he doesn't really hate his father, doesn't really hate his family or anything like. Even though he has a big clan of family, because rats do populate in numbers. You probably would definitely say they keep popping just like that. You know what I mean? They just keep going, just keep going. I used to have a pet rat for myself. I got from PetSmart. I named it Bud. I named it because I couldn't think of any other names or anything like that. But even though I still miss my pet rat, I still do. But they're very clean animals. They love to do what they love to do. They really definitely do. And they're very fun, and they're very gentle. They can't bite, basically in a way. But they're actually very, very cute. They really actually are. I really definitely do like them. But don't be fooled because by the way they look and stuff like that. Because like, oh, they're hideous. They give you diseases basically away. But they really basically really definitely don't. But I think that the story is very unique. It's basically basically way. There was a space that this chef whose name is Gasson. So I can't pronounce his name. I have such a hard time pronouncing words. I do apologize for that. His name is Gasson or something like that. He is kind of a big, heavy kind of guy. Basically, the way he is the legendary chef. He is the greatest chef basically in the world. He is pretty much basically the best of the best, basically in a way. I guess you probably definitely say making cuisines, meals like Mexican food, Chinese, or whatever that may be, stuff like that. He pretty much, I guess he owns restaurants probably around the world. I guess I really don't know, so I don't know if the movie really explained that really basically or not. But basically, anyways, he ended up passing away, and he basically died. And then he also have basically this young man whose name is Luigi, I can't pronounce his name. I think his name Luigi or something like that. Luigi it's a young man who has a hard time trying to have a steady income, have a steady job. He has a hard time not really paying attention to what he's basically doing. He's kind of awkward, kind of like shy, based in a way. He's kind of clumsy, also small too. He really actually is and stuff like that. He doesn't really have really much of a life really basically given to him basically way. But then all of a sudden life gets to turn around for him until he meets Rime basically also too. He meets Rime and then him and Rime basically become friends because basically in a way because they kind of end up being partners or got probably so we'll say probably really great friends. He calls him Little Shop basically. That's what he definitely uses. That's what he definitely calls him. And so they begin to basically so Remake basically helps him out cook because Luigi does not know how to cook. He does not know how to cook or anything like that. He's not really considered as a master chef that some people may think that he really is not. But even though that little tiny little person is the basic of the chef. Let me just say this: one little thing can make a miracle. It really can. It really definitely can. I've seen one little things can make big miracles, huge miracles. It's just done a miracles basically unfolding in right before everything for what we have seen and stuff like that. And let me just also just say this basically the way I want people to also understand here is that I'm very, very grateful to really basically watch this movie and see the full diagram based on this movie because this movie is very, very good. It's definitely is. It's perfect. It has such a great atmosphere based on a movie I've never seen before in such a long, long time. If I think that the Toy Story was basically the beginning for Pixar, and when it comes to Bugs Life and basically the Pixar and basically some of the other movies kind of picked up on the rankings, I have to say, this movie definitely does, shines a much more brighter aspect. And to be honest with you, I'm just going to say this right now. Some people may think that Toy Story is part of the cult classic, basically way probably the next chapter based on the Lion King. I'm sorry to say this, but I have to say Ratatouille is basically it's the next big thing for the start of another cult classic of Lion King, basically the next chapter of the next big thing, basically in a way. Even though Toy Story is basically still continuing on, we just don't know how long it's going to continue. There could be a Toy Story 1 million and stuff like that. We just definitely don't know if that's definitely going to happen. But I definitely say, like I said before, the movie is perfect. It's great. It's fantastic. It's really definitely good and stuff like that. And if I could get a Ratatouille poster, I would post it right up here. I definitely do love the movie. It's really actually beautiful and stuff like that. And I just love it really actually a lot. I do love the villain, basically in a way. Basically, I can't remember his name, but he has a funny kind of aspect. Basically, kind of a guy. I don't know how they did it. How he did it. The voice acting. The voice acting is just so godlike. Oh my god, it's so good. It's so rich. It's so pure. It's so golden. It's like living in the golden age of what we really want to see from Disney in such a long time. And really actually is. And to be honest, I really would love to see more of this basic down the road. But I will definitely say I do respect Brad Bird's opinion when it comes to making a second Ratatouille, but not really making it happen. Because even though that's basically his choice, I think Disney should not have to force him basically to do this because this is not really a marketing basically for him, but it may be a marketing base for Disney basically way. But I think Disney should respect respect his opinion based on that. But I would definitely say I definitely do agree with him, and I definitely do think he should stick to his guns, and I definitely do think that he really needs to do that, and that's what he definitely needs to do. In a way, I do want to see Ratatouille 2. I do really want to because I want to see what kind of takes place after the first film. But I know a lot of people may not really want to see that really basically happen. I can understand it, and I 100% respect that with almost deep emphasis. I would definitely personally say. But as I said before, I'm giving this a 1 million out of 10. I don't care. It's a 10 out of 10, perfect for me. For 1 out of 5 star, 1 out of 5 star for this movie. I give it a 5 star movie. That's when I'm going to start rating these movies also as well too. But yeah, anyways, this is Andrex. I'll see you guys later. Take care. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Don't forget to subscribe. Please consider subscribing. Please like me, give me a thumbs up, or give me a thumbs down. It doesn't matter to me. And please leave a comment below. And please please do me a huge favor. Please hit the notification bell also well too, because that lets me know you guys are watching my videos, because that's very important. I will highly appreciate it. And I would ask you guys, please help me reach up to 500 subscribers. I would love that, and that would be a great milestone for my YouTube channel. And I'm hoping to reach up there. I've been working very hard, trying to upload videos every single day. Please, guys, I beg you guys. I'll get on my knees. I'll get on my knees. I'll do whatever you want me to do just to get to 500 subscribers. But anyways, I just want to say thank you to Brad Bird for this beautiful movie. And thank you, Disney, for this beautiful movie. And hopefully we get to see more of these cult classics, basic movies like this. But yeah, anyways, I'll see you guys later. Take care. I'll see you guys later. Take care. I love you guys. Take care. Bye.